Hi everybody, I'm Antonietta, and today's practice is a 35-minute yoga flow where we focus on joy. So bring your cup, bring your smile, and meet me on the mat. Welcome. We're going to start today's practice with a therapeutic exercise to help you feel energized. It's called Breath of Joy, which is a 3-part breath exercise where you inhale through your nose, and by first you fill your belly with air, and then to the rib cage, and then you fill your chest. And then when you exhale, you'll exhale through the nose or the mouth, and you can release from the chest, and then the rib cage, and then the belly in one breath. So it's in, and then out. We'll be adding some arm movements that I will be demonstrating for you first, and then you can go ahead and join in. So let's get started. Let's begin standing with feet placed a little wider than shoulder width apart. Slight bend in the knees, arms rest along the sides. Exhale deeply and inhale for 3. In, and sharp exhale, bend forward, send the arms back as if you're moving air and letting it all go. In, and then out. Let's keep this going for 5 more rounds. One last round, and let it all go. Slowly come up and see how you feel. Tune into your body. Feel the energy flowing into all parts. Everyone will experience this in all sorts of ways. You could be feeling a little dizzy or maybe pins and needles, and that's okay. It's your way of experiencing the sensations. Enjoy the feeling of feeling. In your own time, make your way to the front of the mat. And once you get there, take an inhale. And on an exhale, bow down to standing forward fold. Plant the palms, step 1 foot back, then the other, coming into downward facing dog. Pedal it out and really reach the hips up high. Bend at the knees to lift the hips a little higher, and try to ground down into the heels. Don't worry so much that if the heels don't come to the ground. Just have the intention, and in time, they'll get there. On your next breath, gently drop the knees down, coming into tabletop. Keep your shoulders over your wrists and hips over your knees. Drop your belly towards the mat and bring your gaze up towards the sky, cow pose. Pull your shoulder blades together and back and open through the chest. Deep inhale and a deep exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Draw your navel up towards the spine. Allow the spine to round as you drop your chin to your chest, coming into cat. Breathe in And breathe out. Once more in and out. Inhale, drop into cow. Exhale, round into cat. And let's continue to flow in and out of cat and cow on your own, using your breath to guide you in and out of the pose. Keep your movement slow here, and let's keep going for 5 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. Take one more final breath for each. Beautiful. Now come back to a neutral spine. We're going to push off the mat with our left hand and extend your right arm up towards the ceiling. Thread the needle by slowly moving your right arm under your left chest towards the mat. Ground down through both knees and left arm for support. Right shoulder and head rest on the mat. Peek at me if you need to. Option to extend your left arm overhead, coming up onto the fingertips. Hold here and focus on your breathing. See if you can hear what thoughts are coming up here. Are you wanting to come out of the pose? See if you can let go of the pull and just surrender into the resistance. Let's reset. Press firmly into your left palm and slowly unthread your right arm, reaching back up towards the sky. The gaze can follow. And return your right hand down to the mat, back to tabletop. Let's repeat this on the other side. Lift your left hand up, sending your gaze up with it, and then follow your left hand down as you thread it beneath your right arm. Sink into the stretch by keeping your hips high while allowing your chest to rest on or come close to the mat. Option to extend your right arm and come up on your fingertips. Push your hips back and up and keep some pressure in your right fingertips to avoid crunching your neck and to control the deepness of the stretch. Deep quality breaths here. Try to be right here, right now, focusing on all that is going on in your body right now. Feeling the tight areas getting loose and unraveling and creating space. Press firmly into your right palm and slowly unthread your left arm, reaching back up towards the sky. The gaze can follow. And then return your left hand down to the mat, back to tabletop. Walk your hands forward and your knees back, coming into puppy pose. Slide your forearms down and release the forehead to the mat. Spread your fingertips nice and wide and press firmly into the palms. Elbows lift, hips lift high towards the ceiling. Keep pressing your chest towards the mat. For a deeper stretch, you can try lifting the wrists by coming onto the fingertips. Also, you can come up on the chin. Breathe deep here. 2 more breaths. If you're on your fingertips, lower and release to the palms. Slowly come onto the forearms. Shift the hips forward and gradually lower down to the mat, coming into Sphinx pose. Elbows are underneath the shoulders. Lift your chest, open the heart, pressing into the palms and tops of the feet. Let's take one more breath together. And meet in table by curling the toes under, sliding the hands back, and coming up onto all fours. From here, make your way up to downward facing dog. So inhale, send the hips back and up, and exhale to down dog. Be sure not to hold your breath here. Try to take some rich quality breaths here as you think. Inhale, expansion, belly blows up like a balloon, and exhale, contraction, belly deflates, navel to the spine. Bend your knees one at a time, or pedal your heels towards the ground. One more round, and exhale. Ground down through the left foot or heel. Inhale, lift the right leg up high. Exhale, bend your right knee, squeeze it into the chest and step it forward. Make sure the front knee is over the front ankle. Pivot on the left foot and rise up strong, warrior one. Reach the fingertips up high, pull your hip creases back, hips and torso facing forward. Right foot is strong, left foot turning in and anchored down. Lift your chest, inhale in. Now let's wring out the lower back and organs with a revolved warrior. Bring hands to prayer at the heart center. Pivot on the back foot as you twist the torso towards the sky. Heart is open. Left elbow comes to the outer side of the right knee. Gaze is up. Place pressure on the palms, or you can make a fist with one hand to get a deeper twist. Option to extend the left arm to the ground while the right arm reaches to the sky. One more breath, and then reach your arms back up, and then rain it down. Plant the palms, step the right foot back to meet with the left, plank pose. You can go straight to downward facing dog or take a vinyasa. Shift forward on your toes, bend your arms and lower to the belly, chaturanga, and then up through upward facing dog or cobra. Moving with your breath, we'll meet in downward dog. When you get there, take a deep cleansing breath in and a long cleansing breath out. Moving at your own pace, anchor through the left heel and inhale, lift the right leg up high, three-legged dog. Bend the right knee behind you and open through the hips and try to look back to see if you can find your toes. Pause and breathe here. On your next breath, pivot on the ball of the left foot so that your toes facing the back edge of the mat. Arch the back so that the hips are parallel to the ceiling. At the same time, place your right foot on the floor on the outside of your left foot. Extend your right arm, Wild Thing pose. Breathe deep here. Pivot on the ball of the left foot so that the toes face the front of the room. Drop the right arm down on the mat, returning to downward facing dog. Coming into warrior one, inhale, anchor through the right heel, lift the left leg up high, and exhale, shift it forward, hold the core in tight, gently step it up, pivot on the back foot, and when you're ready, we rise up strong, warrior one. Pressing into the outer edge of the back foot, hug the low ribs in, breathe deep. Here we go, revolved warrior. Bring the hands to prayer at the heart center. Pivot on the back foot as you twist the torso towards the sky. Heart is open. Right elbow locks into the outer side of the left knee, gaze is up. Place pressure on the palms, or again, you can make a fist with one of the hands to get a deeper twist. Option to extend the left arm to the ground while the right arm reaches to the sky. Breath, and then reach your arms back up and then rain it down. Plant the palms, step the left foot back to meet with the right, plank pose. Really reach the heels back and dome through the upper back here. Core is engaged, long neck, gaze is down. Again, you can go straight to downward facing dog or take a vinyasa. Shift forward on your toes, bend your arms and lower to the belly, chaturanga, and up through to cobra. Moving with your breath, we'll meet in downward facing dog. And when you get there, take the deepest breath you've taken all day. And the longest exhale. Empty it all out. Here we go, coming into three-legged dog. Anchor through the right heel. Inhale, lift the left leg up high. This time bend the left knee behind you, opening through the hips again. Try to look back to see if you can find your toes. Pause and breathe. And on your next breath, pivot on the ball of the right foot. Toes face the back edge of the mat. Back arches. Hips are parallel to the ceiling. Place your left foot on the floor on the outside of your right foot and extend your left arm. You could take a mudra here if you'd like. Take one more breath and make your way back to downward facing dog. By pivoting on the ball of the right foot, left arm drops down to the mat, bringing it back to down dog. Pedal it out a little here, shaking the head a little yes, a little no. Step the left foot behind the left hand and the other behind the right. With a generous bend of your knees, press weight into your heels and sink into your hips and reach your arms up towards the sky. Utkatasana, chair pose. Option to bring the hands to the heart center. Tuck your tailbone down and under. Try to lift all your toes up off the mat, then place them back down to the earth. One more deep inhale, and then exhale, forward fold. This time grab the opposite elbow or whatever feels good to you. We'll stay here for 4 breaths. Let the head grow heavy here. You can bend the knees or pedal them out. Sway a little side to side, sending the breath to any tight areas, using it as medicine or oil to lube the joints of any stiff spots. On your next inhale, come into a halfway lift. This time reach your arms back, palms face down, flat back from crown to tail. Shoulders pull back and away from the ears. Exhale, let it all go, forward fold. On an inhale, bend your knees and sweep your arms up towards the sky and then place them by your side, palms facing forward. Draw your shoulders down and away from your ears. Zip up through the midline, mountain pose, Tadasana. Coming into a quad stretch, shift your weight to your left foot, bend your right knee, and lift your right foot heel towards your glute. Reach back with your right hand and grab your right ankle. Keep a slight bend in your left knee, thighs hugging towards center. Keep length through the back and lift through the chest. And from here, we'll make our way to dancer pose or Natarajasana. Rotate your right hand from your ankle to grasp the instep of your right foot with your thumb resting on the sole. Lift your arms straight up towards the ceiling and bring your torso forward. Option to use a strap if your hamstrings or low back feel a little tight. Keep a slight bend in the left leg. Right knee hugs towards the midline. Kick your right foot strongly into your right hand, or if you're holding onto a strap, really hold onto it tightly as you lift the leg higher and deepen the back bend. Toes are active. Find your drishti to keep balance. No worries if you fall or stumble here. There is no failure. Falling is success. If you stumble, pick yourself back up and try again. There is no finish line, so take your time. Deep breaths. Carefully lower your right leg back in line with your left, and let's repeat on the other side. Shift your weight to your right foot, bend your left knee, and lift your left foot heel towards glute. Reach back with your left hand to grab your left ankle. Slight bend in the right knee, thighs hugging towards center. Lift the chest and breathe deep into the tightness. Now let's get ready to dance on the left side. Left hand rotates to grab the inner arch of the left foot. Thumb rests on the sole. Right arm lifts straight up towards the ceiling. Torso leans forward. Slight bend in the right leg. Left knee hugs towards the midline. Kick your left foot strong into your left hand to lift the leg higher and deepen the back bend. Toes are active. Find your gaze and breathe deep. And lower your left leg back in line with your right. Inhale, reach for the sky, spread the fingers, press into your foundation, big stretch. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the palms, step one foot back, then the other, plank pose. Gently lower to the knees, coming into tabletop position. From here, we're going to come into one of my favorites, camel pose or ustrasana. Option to pad the knees with a blanket or double up on your yoga mat if needed. Otherwise, bring the hands to the back of the waist. Loop the shoulders forward, up and back. Tailbone lengthens down. You can use your thumbs along the back side of the lower back to guide you forward and back. Inner thighs are engaged and squeezing into the midline. Open the chest and press firmly into the tops of the feet. Hips shift forward as you begin to lean back. Hug the elbows together and reach down to grab your heels. Inhale, inner thighs continue to squeeze together. Look up, or you might look all the way back. And breathe. To come out of the posture, bring one hand back to the waist and then the other. Tuck the chin, then slowly roll up. Knit the thighs together, sit back on the heels, and cave into child's pose. Forehead to the mat, rest the arms alongside, fingertips towards the heels. Let the shoulders grow heavy here. Such a nice counter stretch. Practicing to surrender is just as powerful, if not more, than resistance. Let's take a couple breaths here and just let go for a moment here. Slowly make your way back up. Swing your legs over to either side and extend them in front of you. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, hinge at the waist, flat back, think up and over and fold. Bend your knees as much as you like here. Pause for a little and just listen to the sound of your breath. Mindfully roll all the way back up, reaching arms up, and then place them down by your sides, Dandasana or staff pose. Following this, bend your knees, lean back to balance on your sits bones. Feel the lift through the low belly, lengthen through the spine, chest is lifted. Moving from center, lift your legs up, feet are in line with your knees, fingertips reach forward, straighten your legs and point your toes. Navasana boat pose. Remember, my breath is my anchor, and let's hold it for a count of 3, 2, and 1. Lower all the way down. Stomp it out here, rock the boat a little harder, a little faster. And done. Rolling down to our backs. When you get there, hug your knees to your chest and make your way to happy baby pose. Bring the arms through the insides of your knees and hold onto the outside edge of your foot. Slightly tuck the chin to the chest and press the heels up and pull back with the arms. Shoulders, neck, and back press down into the mat. You can rock your baby a little side to side here if that feels good. You might even extend one leg and then extend the other. Breathe and enjoy the stretch. This pose always makes me smile. See if you can think of something that brings you joy, if not happy baby pose. Maybe it's a picnic in the park, or time spent with a loved one. Whatever it may be, try and carry that joyful spirit with you. Feeling joyful starts on the inside and sometimes can be reflected on the outside by a smile. But we can also start from the outside and see what happens. Smiling calms the nervous system as it relaxes the facial muscles. So let's see what happens if we start with raising the corners of our mouth slightly and maybe starting or ending the day with a little inner or outer smile. From here, let's rock and roll all the way up by grabbing the back of the hamstrings and making your way back to tabletop pose. Curl the toes under and walk the hands back towards center, coming into malasana or yogi squat. Adjust your feet as needed. You can come up on your toes if that feels comfortable to you, or feet flat on the earth. Tailbone is tucked between the ankles. Hands are in prayer at the chest. Continue to press hands firmly together while at the same time pressing elbows against the inner thighs, creating resistance and building strength. Now place your hands back down on the earth in front of you and slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time to standing. Coming into our final asana, tree pose. Engage your core and bring your hands together at the heart center in prayer. Root down through the right foot as you begin to slowly lift your left foot up, allowing it to rest on your ankle, calf, or thigh. Being mindful to avoid the knee. You can use your hand to guide your foot. Keep your gaze steady and your mind clear. Option to use a wall for support. Lovely. Carefully place your left foot on the ground and find your balance in both feet. Shift your weight over to your left foot and allow your right foot to rise up and rest on your ankle, calf, or thigh. Squeeze the inner thigh in as your foot presses against it, creating opposition or resistance. You might raise your arms up from here to form some branches or whatever shape you choose, or you can leave them placed at your heart. Take a couple breaths. And let it all go. We're going to end today's practice with a little knocking on heaven's door in hopes we can open up to some love and laughter to start or even end our day with joy in our hearts. Simply stand with your feet hip-width distance apart, feet rooted with a soft bend in the knees. Let your arms hang at your sides and make fists with the hands. Then begin to swing side to side, starting off slowly here. Start to pick up the pace and maybe give the booty a little knock. Shake it up a bit. It's okay to laugh. Let it out. Laughing sends more oxygen to the brain, which triggers then release of endorphins that help us to feel more positive. It can also lower blood pressure, relieve stress, and boost your mood. If you're up for it, let's pick up the pace a little more. It's okay to let go, be free, have fun. You are allowed to live. Keep breathing here. And when you're ready, let's begin to slow it down until you come back to standing in stillness. On an inhale, reach your arms all the way up, palms to touch, and then place them at the heart. Yoga equals union, and when the mind, body, and spirit are working in harmony, to me, that equals joy. I hope you all enjoyed today's practice and that maybe it shed a little light in your lives, or if anything, perhaps a little booty wake up. I'll take it. It's all good. On a serious note, I thank you for showing up today and every day. Namaste.